Hey everyone, Cahill from the coinmovement.com here. I am bringing you all a video on Fantasy Premier League Gameweek 5 preview and a bit of Crypto Weekly. Let's get started. This week I'm going to talk about airdrops in the context of the cryptocurrency sphere. What are airdrops? Why are they widely used? And how can you benefit from knowing how they work and where you can find them? So what if somebody offered you so let's say 9 years ago somebody offered you a couple of Bitcoin for free, gratis, just handed it to you. You probably think nothing of it. So that's what the airdrop system is trying to achieve. It's giving out free cryptocurrency. These cryptocurrencies are underdeveloped at the moment. They're based on a blockchain project or an ICO, but it hasn't kind of gripped anyone yet, and it's not really widely used. So it's an opportunity for these companies to spread out their wealth in terms of their token and get more users involved and on board. Essentially, these companies participating in an airdrop are giving away their own cryptocurrency for free. The next question is, why would a project distribute their tokens for free? And the answer is quite simple. In order for a project to have value, it must have a community of users, a growing community of users. The easiest way for them to get new users is to give them something of value, i.e. a token that they've created, without the user having to bear any sort of financial risk themselves. How does a user get these free airdrop tokens? The easiest way to demonstrate how to participate in airdrops is to get you guys actually participating in one that's happening right now. On the coin movement, I generally write about FPL, Fantasy Premier League, and a little bit of cryptocurrency also. I actually started this site based on my passion of cryptocurrency, and I'm trying to morph it into more of a FPL crypto type blog. And with that, I think I've found the perfect airdrop to match that ambition. Rotohive, ROTOHIVE.com, is a fantasy sports hive mind built on the Ethereum blockchain. Rotohive is being launched in line with the new NFL season. So if you go on to rotohive.com right now, you can submit your details. I think you need to give your username and your actual name along with an email address and also an Ethereum address. So this Ethereum address that you supply them with is where they will drop these free tokens into eventually. The simplest way to create your own Ethereum address, if you haven't got one, is to go on to myetherwallet.com and follow the instructions. So what drives this Roto platform? How does it work? Essentially, users are going to submit who they think are going to be the best performing players in the NFL for a game week. So let's pretend that this concept is FPL. This would be like you choosing who you think is going to score the most points in a game week. As simple as that. And how you do it is you rank your players in order of best performing player to worst performing player, and you submit it. And the Roto tokens are then distributed to the best predicting set of players. So if you submit a team that has the top scoring players from that game week in NFL, you will get the most Roto dropped into your Ethereum address. You might ask at this point what the catch is. There is no catch really. Like they're trying to grow their user base, and this is the best way they can do it. By distributing these free tokens, they get more users involved, and they don't have anything of value unless there's a community, and a growing community at that. So if they get your details, whether it be getting you to sign up for a newsletter or follow them on Twitter, that's good enough for them. They're expanding their user base, and in return, you get some free cryptocurrency, which is great. If you've never got cryptocurrency before, if you've never bought it before, you're going to get some for the first time ever for free and with little effort. So why not do it? So let's move on to the FPL Game Week 5 preview. If you've read any of my blog posts before, you know that I like to get like an FPL veteran or a seasoned player involved to give me their opinions for the upcoming picks for the game weeks. This week I'm going to revert back to myself. I did game week 1. I did okay in game week 1. It was a tough opener. My budget pick, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, scored 12 points, which is quite nice. But I'm going to have another crack at it again, so here it goes. The FPL game week 5 essential pick is Marcus Alonso. So, Alonso, wow. Looking at his returns from the first 4 game weeks, they're on a par with his best runs last season. Like he scored 11 points against Huddersfield. People are thinking, okay, he got a dodgy assist that week and a clean sheet, probably to be expected against Huddersfield, but he just followed it up. 13 points against Arsenal, 11 points against Newcastle, and most recently 9 points against Bournemouth. Most of those points were from attacking returns. If you look at his heat map, he's playing in a very, very advanced role, and he is getting chances. I think you got to own him. Even if he has a high ownership, you got to be one of those people to have him, because he can destroy you if you're not one of his owners. FPL Game Week 5, nice to have player pick is James Maddison. So Maddison is, he's a little bit unproven. He's done very well since joining Leicester in pre-season, and his performances have been, well, not being spectacular, but he's shown amazing potential. He has a goal and an assist. He scored against Wolves in Game Week 2. 6.6 million is a little pricey, which is why he's in a nice-to-have category. It's not exactly a budget pick, but you could use those funds elsewhere and go for the 5 million midfielders. But I like him. He plays in the hole behind the striker for Leicester. Vardy was out last game week. He's back this week. They're playing Bournemouth away, so good chance for attacking returns if he keeps that advanced roll up, and I like him. Good punt. FPL Game Week 5 clean sheet team is Wolverhampton Wanderers. I've actually seen a lot of Wolves this season so far, and I have to say they're a solid unit. They are not going to be easily beat, and they're not going to ship many goals either. They are very, very good. Team players to kind of look at are, Bennett, Bowley, and Rui Patricio. Rui Patricio is a really good, cheap, alternative goalkeeper pick. I've seen him in a lot of teams. What is his ownership's 5.9%? Okay, so it's still relatively low. I think he's a good option for most teams. Burnley don't score that many goals, and I feel like Wolves at home, they're going to be a difficult team to get around, and they're well organised. So yeah, obviously the obvious picks this week are Man City at home and Chelsea at home, but everyone's going to say that, so I'm going to take a little bit of a alternative viewpoint and go with Wolverhampton Wanderers. FPL Game Week 5 differential pick is Romelu Lukaku. The criteria for the differential pick is ownership less than 10%, and Lukaku ticks this box with an ownership of 7.9% as I record this. He is on a hot streak, really, because in the last 2 weeks he has scored 4 goals for club and country. He got a brace last week against Burnley away, and I fancy him to continue on trend and get some attacking returns in the bag. He's away to Watford. Watford's a tough away fixture. They've started the season well. I feel like he's going to do it though. It's 11 million. It's not a cheap differential, and it's going to be tough to fit Rom into a team with the Salah or Aguero. But I fancy it. He's not in my own team, but if I had the funds, I would definitely take a little chance on Rom this week to score at least a goal against Watford away. Special mention for Cesar Azpilicueta for the differential pick. He doesn't quite fit into the category. His ownership is a little bit too high at 12.2%, but everyone knows he's a great defender, but he has a very, very similar heat map to I nearly said Xabi Alonso, to Marcus Alonso this season. He is playing very advanced, and he's been a little unlucky. He got 1 assist in Game Week 2 against Arsenal, but I feel like he's going to pop soon, and he's going to score heavy one of these game weeks coming up. His ownership is low. His price has fallen this season. He's 6.4 million at the moment, so he might be a nice little alternative to all those Marcus Alonso owners if you fancy doing something a little bit different and brave. FPL Game Week 5 budget pick this week is Cedric Suarez at 4.4 million for Southampton. So Cedric had a huge return last game week. He scored 12 points away to Crystal Palace, 1 assist, clean sheet, and maximum bonus points. So yeah, he is currently 4.4 million, which is kind of hard to believe. I thought a lot of people would have jumped on the bandwagon this week and got him in. Maybe he's very cheap for what he does. He's a very attack-minded winger, and in previous seasons he was priced much higher. At the moment, he's kind of flying under the radar a little bit, 5.8% in terms of ownership. He is, he's cheap. He's obviously Southampton aren't guaranteed clean sheets every week, but he looks like he'll get attacking returns maybe once every 2 or 3 game weeks, which is pretty good for a price point of 4.4. FPL Game Week 5, captain's pick is Sergio Aguero. This is probably my most obvious pick. It's also, funnily enough, the only player out of all my picks that I actually own currently. He is needed in your team this week because he can be explosive. He can go ahead and do something like he did in Game Week 2 where he scored 20 points. I owned him at that point. I didn't captain him. Anybody who captained him that week or triple captained him even better would have really jumped up the rankings, and ever since then I'm kind of thinking I can't miss that explosiveness again. He can bag a hat-trick out of the blue. He doesn't even need 90 minutes to do it. He couldn't. Jesus could start ahead of him and he'd come on with 20 minutes to go and he'd still get a goal and assist and 3 bonus points. The guy is that good in FPL and cannot be ignored. Ignore him at your peril. If you don't put him in this week, or if you captain somebody else, you could be in deep shit. So yeah, Aguero, ownership 51.8%, price 11.3 million. He has the armband and I will not be moved on this one. Aguero to score heavy at home to Fulham, Game Week 5. So moving on to the Litecoin League, let's take a look at the rankings. So we have a change at the top once again. FPL Colonel Connor Duffy has moved ahead of Connor Toomey to Time Force FC by 3 points. He's on 300 points total. FPL Colonel, Time Force FC is 3 points behind on 297. And then you have Connor's brother Daniel, Paris Saint-Germain FC, who is on 282. And then you have a whole bunch of people kind of in and around the 270 mark. It's early days in this league. We're only 4 game weeks in. It's definitely a marathon, not a sprint. So hang in there if you're a low level in the league at the moment. It's not the end of the world. Plenty to play for. Another thing to note is the September Manager of the Month tournament that I announced on Twitter. There's 12 people qualified for it. The qualifying criteria was for your entry fee to be paid by the start of Game Week 4. And we have 12 people that have done that, so they qualify to earn back that entry fee of 0.12 Litecoin. So essentially you will get a free entry into the season league, which is pretty good for just paying. That's all you got to do. Shout out to the high scores for Game Week 4. The average game week score was 44 points. We had plenty of people scored well above that in the 60s and 2 guys in the 70s. We had Olympics FC with 79 points and Cryptoholic FC with 70 points. 2 very good scores. Well done, gentlemen. For those of you who have yet to pay the 0.12 Litecoin entry fee, you know who you are. All the details are on thecoinmovement.com/FPL. So get in there and send me your Litecoin. It's not much. Cryptocurrency market's in a bear trend at the moment, so you'll pick up some Litecoin very cheaply through Coinbase or your preferred platform. I also appreciate that some of you are probably still struggling to figure out how to do this, how to pay, how to buy some Litecoin. If you are, please do not hesitate to get in touch with me. I would be so happy to guide you through the process, point you in the right direction, and troubleshoot any issues you might be having. Preferred platform in my case is Coinbase. It's just easy to use. It's very safe to secure your currency. It's probably the most widely used cryptocurrency buying platform, tool, wallet that's out there. You can download the app and store the currency on your phone. Most of the currency in Coinbase is in cold storage, which means that it's very secure and it's not liable to be hacked and lost anytime soon. So yeah, Coinbase is my recommended platform. If you're struggling, get in touch, bitboyburn@gmail.com, or just hit me up on Twitter or respond to this video, whatever. All good. So that's it from me for Game Week 5 Fantasy Premier League preview and Crypto Weekly. I hope you enjoyed the video, the content. If you have any feedback, good or bad, please get in touch with me at the Coin Movement on Twitter, or send me an email at bitboyburn@gmail.com.